Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Tony. I am so excited to interview you. Um, so I'm from a generation where you have animated or directed some very important movies like Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and my favorite, the original Mulan. So I
Wow.
wanted to start off with you to ask you, all of those films have underlying themes that are very important, especially for kids and for, women. I have two girls myself, and they love those movies. But they are about finding yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. And Red Shoes actually has that theme in it. Is that one of the reasons that you decided to work on the film?
It really is. I got to know the film through a friend of mine that was the character designer on it, and this all happened in Korea, Seoul, Korea. And I went out to Seoul, Korea for a little a gig I was doing, and had lunch with my friend, and he introduced me to the director and the producer and the whole team working on Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarfs, and pitched me the story, and I fell in love with it immediately. I'm a father of 3 daughters, so
Yeah.
this is this is right on the forefront of what I would have loved my girls to be able to watch when they were young, and it's right on what we used to talk about. It was an important element in our household that we talked about body
Right.
image. We talked about what it is to have a healthy body, but even more so a healthy mind, and who you are as
Right.
the inside is what matters instead of the outside. And that's really what Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarfs is all about. That's the theme of the movie, and that's the journey that Snow White goes on.
Right. I mean, as a mother of two girls, we have that conversation. I want to feel like it's almost daily. You have
Yeah,
that outward conversation, and then you also have that inside, because the inside voice for me and for my daughters is always the one that's going to battle more than the outside. But
yeah,
one of the things that I really love is the fact that you do it. The movie does it both ways. It does it for Snow White and her character. She's female, but they also do it for the male side with the Seven Dwarfs and how they do it. And men can have body image issues as well. So I love that the film, that they dealt with that.
yeah.
And one of my other questions I wanted to talk to you about, or one of the topics, and you mentioned it, is that you went to Korea for this, and this is actually, I believe it's one of the first films that has an animated film that has a full Korean production crew. So that is actually amazing in itself.
Yeah, there is an animation industry. Hi. How you doing? There is a wonderful animation industry in Korea, just like the animation is all over the world now. It's become really international. But finding this little gem of a studio, Locust Animation, I felt like it was like a diamond in the rough, to quote Aladdin. And I really fell in love with what they were doing. And I have a real independent animation spirit myself. So I want to support independence making wonderful things. And Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarfs was a real diamond in the rough that I felt like, oh, I got to get on board in any way I can. So I was happy to be the voice director on this.
Oh, that's awesome. And I mean, you have animator and director in your resume, and then voice director for this. Was there any actors that you were like, I definitely want to get for this movie?
Well, yeah, I have a real friendship and high regard for Patrick Warburton. I know
Oh,
what he
yeah.
could bring as a comedy actor because he did with Kronk and Emperor's New Groove, and I've worked with him like on 4 other features since then, including this one. But yeah, when the directors and the producers were coming to me and we were talking about casting for the Magic Mirror, they had a couple names, and I'm like, oh, I got to tell you, Patrick Warburton. He's the voice. You got to get Patrick Warburton if you can. And they did. They went after him and got him. And he just adds a warmth and a charm to anything he's doing, because it could be a really dark role. If it
Right.
was voiced by somebody else, it could be taken a different direction. But he gives such a warmth and a funny quality to it. It's great.
Yeah, and I think that Chloe was a perfect choice. Sam was
Oh,
a perfect choice. Actually, Merlin, that was the funniest character for me. I thought it
yeah.
was just so funny when he would go, "You just got Merlin," and my daughters thought it was hysterically funny as well.
Yeah.
Was there any, I guess, scenes or anything that was the most difficult to shoot to get the voice of the actors to be able to
Yeah,
just
there's a
nail?
there's a very sweet scene between Merlin and also Red Shoes as and Merlin is a dwarf. You know, so Sam Claflin had to play. There's a lot of back and forth that the actors have to know, and that's where my part as a voice director comes in. I'm like, okay, well now you're the dwarf. You're not seen as a human here, so she's seen you as the dwarf, and Merlin, you're seeing, you know, Chloe, her character as a human, you know, as Snow White, not Red Shoes. So anyway, they had a very tender moment in the middle of the film where they kind of open up to each other about how much they like each other for who they are. And it's a real kind of a change that's happening between the two of them, a chemistry that's building. And they're not in the same room. The actors are not in the same room. We record them on different days. And so to get that performance where it feels very real between two actors and yet they're not playing against each other, that can be very difficult for the actors to get in that headspace. And that's really what my job is to do, is to try and help them get there.
Well, I think you did a fantastic job. And my daughters have actually, they've seen the movie 4 times already.
Awesome.
They had we got it, we have our DVD and or Blu-ray, and every time somebody comes over to our house, they have to show it to them. They're like, we just saw this really cool movie. And the funny part is, well, it's funny, but it's sad because of just the way that this whole year and everything is going. Not a lot of people know a lot about this film, and that's a little sad.
Yeah.
But they're doing their job, trying to tell everybody about the video and share it with everybody.
They can join the media team. We love that.
Well, thank you so much. And I know you have a class to get to teach, so I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day. And this has been a pleasure and a joy. Thank you so much.
Very nice meeting you too. And thank you so much.
Thank you.